It begins with a confession that no one expected, one that left fans stunned and Hollywood whispering. On a recent appearance on the deeply personal podcast Broad Ideas, hosted by Rachel Bilson and Olivia, actress Rebecca Gayheart revealed the truth about her long, complicated relationship with her estranged husband, Eric Dane. And though the world learned not long ago that the former Grey's Anatomy star was battling ALS, the reality of what has been happening behind closed doors is far more emotional, far more tangled, and far more heartbreaking than anyone realized. For the first time, Rebecca Gayheart acknowledged what many had suspected but no one had confirmed. She and Eric Dane quietly called off their divorce, yet they never reconciled as a couple. The dramatic pause between those two facts says everything. Two people who once built a life together, who once fought for each other, who once stood as a united front against the trials of fame, parenthood, and public scrutiny, are now connected only through love reshaped by circumstance, obligation, and the complicated tenderness of shared history. When Rebecca filed for divorce back in 2018, fans assumed the split was clean, final, and emotionally distant. But on the podcast, she reveals a truth that even she struggled to say out loud. "It's super complicated for me," she said softly, the weight of 8 years of emotional exhaustion embedded in every word. "We've been separated for 8 years. The kids live with me 100% of the time. I try to stay optimistic, though, about it all. I'm trying to learn from it. It was a moment that felt raw, almost fragile, a moment that peeled away the Hollywood polish to reveal the very real pain underneath." During the interview, Rebecca Gayheart, now 53, looked back on her decision to file for divorce from Eric Dane. It was a choice that felt necessary at the time, a choice born out of difficult years, changing priorities, and a relationship that had begun to fracture long before the public knew anything was wrong. Yet shortly before Eric revealed his devastating ALS diagnosis, Rebecca quietly dismissed the divorce paperwork. To the outside world, it looked like hope, like two people finding their way back to each other. But the truth was more bittersweet. They were no longer romantic partners. They were no longer rebuilding their marriage. They were simply facing something too heavy, too monumental, too life-altering to handle apart. ALS, 3 letters that can shatter a family, redefine a relationship, and force a past love into a new kind of partnership. One built not on romance, but on compassion, loyalty, and the kind of emotional history that doesn't disappear just because a marriage ends. During the interview, Rebecca didn't sugarcoat how complicated the situation has been for her personally. Being separated for 8 years while raising their daughters full-time has tested her strength and reshaped her understanding of love. She's been a mother, a caretaker, a co-parent, and at times, the only stable force holding the family's emotional balance intact. And yet she continues to show up for Eric, not because they are still together, not because they are trying again, but because, as she put it, "We show up for people no matter what. And he is our family, he is your father, and just get through it." Those words weren't rehearsed. They weren't glamorous. They were the honest truth of a woman who has lived through heartbreak and still chooses compassion. For many listeners, this was a side of Rebecca Gayheart they had never heard before. A raw, grounded version of the actress who once dominated screens and red carpets. She wasn't speaking as a celebrity. She wasn't speaking as a public figure. She was speaking as a woman who has walked through emotional fire and come out with grace, resilience, and a willingness to speak openly about the pain behind the headlines. The relationship between Rebecca and Eric Dane has long been a subject of public fascination. Years ago, long before the separation, long before the divorce filing, they were one of Hollywood's golden couples. The charming star of Grey's Anatomy, beloved by millions for his role as Dr. Mark Sloan McSteamy, and the stunning, charismatic actress known for films like Jawbreaker seemed like a perfect match. But fame can complicate even the strongest foundations, and for them, it certainly did. Their relationship, once full of passion and promise, slowly shifted into something more complicated, more fragile, and eventually unsustainable. Rumors, pressures, personal struggles, all of it began to take its toll. When Rebecca finally filed for divorce in 2018, citing irreconcilable differences, the world assumed that was the end of their story. But for them, a clean break was never truly possible. They shared children. They shared a home for years. They shared memories that spanned 2 decades, and now they shared a devastating diagnosis that would reshape their family forever. ALS changes everything. It demands decisions, sacrifices, emotional labor, and constant presence. It requires unity, even when love has changed form. And though Rebecca and Eric are no longer romantically involved, their connection has become something deeper. A protective, compassionate partnership built on loyalty and history rather than romance. In the podcast, Rebecca wasn't dramatic. She wasn't trying to create headlines. She was just honest. She admitted that she still struggles with the emotional weight of their situation. She admitted that raising their daughters alone has been difficult. She admitted that she tries her best to remain optimistic even when the future feels uncertain. And she admitted that despite everything, she continues to show up for Eric Dane because he matters. Because his illness matters. Because their daughters need stability, closeness, and love during a time when everything around them feels fragile. What makes this revelation so surprising isn't just the fact that the divorce was dismissed. It's the emotional complexity behind that decision. They didn't get back together. They didn't rekindle a romantic flame. They simply chose to face a monumental challenge as a family, separate yet united. Emotionally distant at times, yet deeply connected in the ways that matter most. It is a story that defies easy labels. Not friends, not lovers, not strangers, something in between. Something more complicated, more human. During the podcast, Rachel Bilson and Olivia Allen approached the topic with sensitivity, understanding that this wasn't just celebrity gossip. This was the real story of a woman navigating heartbreak, illness, and family responsibility all at once. Their platform, known for drawing deeply personal conversations from its guests, became a safe space where Rebecca Gayheart could reveal the truth behind years of speculation. The laughter was gentle, the pauses were heavy, and the honesty was undeniable. For fans of Eric Dane, the revelation adds another layer of emotional depth to a public figure already facing immense sympathy and support. Known globally for his role on Grey's Anatomy, Euphoria, and other hit projects, Dane's diagnosis shocked Hollywood and sent fans into a spiral of concern. Now, with Rebecca's revelation, the public sees an even clearer picture of the emotional reality behind his health challenges, the family dynamics, the co-parenting, the love that lingers even when marriage fades. What's most striking about this story is the reminder that life doesn't fit perfectly into headlines. A dismissed divorce doesn't mean a happy reunion. A devastating diagnosis doesn't erase old wounds. And love isn't always romantic. Sometimes love looks like loyalty. Sometimes it looks like presence. Sometimes it looks like showing up for someone even when the relationship has changed in painful ways. Although Rebecca did not go into every detail of their separation, she hinted at years of emotional distance, personal evolution, and challenges that forced her to dig deep within herself. Raising their daughters alone while managing her own career, identity, and emotional well-being has shaped her in ways she didn't anticipate. Yet through all of it, her message remained clear. Compassion is stronger than bitterness. Loyalty is stronger than resentment. Family is stronger than divorce. Her story is one that many separated or divorced couples may quietly relate to, a reminder that relationships evolve, that love can transform into something else without disappearing completely. It is a reminder that life's hardest moments often bring people together in unexpected ways. And it is a reminder that the bond between parents, especially in the face of illness, transcends paperwork, labels, and the formality of marital status. In the aftermath of the interview, fans have expressed admiration for Rebecca's strength, honesty, and vulnerability. Her willingness to speak openly about something so painful has sparked conversations about co-parenting, chronic illness, emotional responsibility, and the realities so many families face behind closed doors. And as the world continues to watch Eric Dane's health journey with empathy and support, this new layer of emotional truth adds depth and resonance to their story. This is not a tale of reconciliation. It is not a Hollywood love story where two people magically find their way back to each other. This is something more real, more complex, more human. It is the tale of two people whose love changed shape, whose marriage ended in practice but remained intact in compassion, and whose connection continues to endure, not as husband and wife, but as partners in the complicated, painful, and deeply emotional journey of life, illness, and family. Their story doesn't close with a romantic reunion. It doesn't offer a cinematic ending, but it does offer something far more meaningful. A portrait of loyalty, resilience, and the quiet, unwavering power of showing up when it matters most.